What the? No. Not that F word. The other F word that we're not supposed to talk about. Financial. Right? Ooh. Money. What happens when I say the word money? Really? Let's find out. It's a 5-letter word, but what happens? Do you feel it in your chest? Yeah. Do you feel it in your stomach? Stomach ache, nausea, sleepless nights? Right? It happens, but yet it's just a 5-letter word. What if I told you that you had the power to change that? That we can transform your relationship with money from stress to strategy, from silence to power, right? But first, let's activate our entire body. When we talk about money, that negative energy that just showed up, I don't want it in this room. I don't want it part of our conversation. So if you can, stand up. If you don't want to, that's okay. But in order to get the blood flowing, I create new brain cells. This is an opportunity for you to shake out those negative thoughts. Shake out that energy that brought you in here and breathe in a new mindset around money. I want you to take in the new energy that you want for your money to be. And if you're sitting down, wiggle your fingers, move it around. Let's get blood going to our brain so we can receive information. And go ahead and have a seat. Because throughout the day, yes, I love the hip rolls. Yes, we're shaking it all out. I normally move around a lot, so this is weird for me to be standing here. Today, at What the Financial, there's a lot of financial words that are being talked about, right? Some seem really scary. Dividends, long-term insurance, short-term insurance, universal, index funds, things that you might not have heard before. I'm going to save those to the other experts. I'm going to talk about 3 words that we've all heard before, right? Rich, wealthy, happy. Can I get a head nod? Everybody have heard these 3 words? 3 words that live 3 very different lives. When we hear the word rich, I want you to think of somebody that you equate to rich. Got it? What does rich mean? Rich is the nice clothes. Rich is the fancy apartment. Rich is on social media. They always seem to be on a cruise somewhere, right? On vacation. How is that happening? Right? Rich is what we see. Rich is the visible wins, what the outside world sees. Okay, now we have our rich friend identified. I want you to identify your wealthy friend. And hey, that might be you. Okay? What does wealth look like? Now, for me, with my clients, wealth comes up, and I ask them, define a wealthy life. Money is on there, no doubt. But it's generally 3 or 4 down on the list. You know what's at top for a wealthy life? Health. You got it. Have you guys done this before? Health. Time with loved ones. Freedom to sip your coffee at your favorite little coffee nook, if that's in your home or sitting on vacation. Wealth, well, that's the quieter victories. So what does that leave us with happiness? Happiness is the mindset. Happiness is our internal truth. But what does that have to do with money? Well, let's look. Let's look at these 3 words again. Rich, wealthy, and happy. I have clients that come to me that are rich and wealthy. But guess what? They're not happy. You know somebody like that too? Yeah. What about that wealthy friend that you thought about? Were they happy? They tend to be. And as you mentioned, I travel, and I love to travel. That's how I explore. That's how I relate to people. That's what fills my wealth. And oftentimes when I'm sitting in a third world country, at a beach, in a quiet spot, The wealthy moments and the happiest people I see are sharing food on a beach, in a park, time with their loved ones. So you don't have to be rich on the outside to live a wealthy life. And today, what I want to focus on is the happiness part. Because you sitting here today, heck, could be rich, could be wealthy, but maybe not so happy. It's our mindset around money. And we're not taught how to talk about money. We're not taught how to have confidence in money. And in fact, our height's inherited, our blood type's inherited, but you know what's not inherited? Our confidence in money. It's built. And it's built in the crazy moments of life, the small wins, the exciting ones, but also where the biggest confident boost comes is generally in the hardest lessons, where you come back, where you find out where your strengths are. Because I don't know about you, but that's what my life looks like. A little bit of a roller coaster. Anybody have a straight line? I would love to meet you. I'm here the rest of the afternoon. Come say hi, because you're 1 in a million, or a trillion, or a bazillion, because I haven't met anybody like that. Our roller coaster of lives is what keeps us going, living. But you know what's sitting right next to us? Our relationship with money on that roller coaster of life. Oftentimes, that roller coaster of life is actually our relationship with money is actually sitting in the driver's seat. And guess who's the passenger? Us. We're just along for the ride. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. I want you to be in the driver's seat of the roller coaster of life. See, I got lucky in life with parents that talked about money. So my incline up was my dad saw that I liked talking about math. Yes, can you tell you what a cool kid I was then? We'd be driving to the grocery store and he'd be like, 2 cans of beans are 99 cents, Erica. How much is 1 can? And then going to school, we would do math problems. We'd get to the grocery store and he would pull, it's funny, I don't even have change. He would pull out the change and have me count out the coins. And I'd have to figure out what the money is for the change back. Money conversations were so normal in my house that when I became a teenager, one AOL computer with that, you know what I'm talking about? My dad would sit and trade stocks, and I would sit down next to him. And we started talking about stocks. Again, I thought this was normal in life. So up the roller coaster, right? And as I'm going up, I got a degree in finance at University of Florida. Go Gators. And then I'm still going up in life. It's great. I realized, actually, when I got my job at IBM, oh, there's my dad. I forgot to show you him. Look how cute he is. I am the luckiest girl alive to have him as a father. Yeah, so you'll hear more about him throughout he's big, and my mom's good too. Don't worry, we'll talk about her also. But my dad and I had a very special bond. And then I got the job at IBM. And I remember calling up my dad, and I'm like, oh my God, Dad, I'm rich. Back in the day, I got a letter in the mail that said I was going to be a consultant. I was going to make $46,000. And I called him up and I said, I'm buying a BMW. I'm like 22 years old. And thank you, he laughed as well. And he was like, no, you're not. You're going to drive that Honda Accord till the wheels fall off. And I did, mind you. And, which was good, because then I ended up moving to New York City, not too far from here, with a boyfriend that in an apartment we probably should have afforded. And now I had a money mindset. He did not grow up in a family that talking about money was normal. And so now we had to blend conversations. You guys have had that with a partner before? Different money mindsets? So we're still going up. And being in consulting with IBM, I lived up to the acronym. I've been moved 9 times in over a decade. And that included New York, Japan, where my oldest, who's in the back, was born. She turns 18 this week, so yes, I'm very, very proud of that one. And all 3 of my kids, don't get that on record. And then, Japan, China, back to the New York. So now I'm blending currencies, cultures, expanding for kids. I had 3 kids in less than 4 years. So now I have 3 kids under the age of 4, and as the saying goes, what comes up? Woo! Did it come crashing down? Whoosh! I was told I was getting a divorce with 3 babies under the age of 4. Now, this is what my life looked like at that point. I know, now she's turning 18. Don't get me started. You know. So they were crawling all over me, and they just needed their mommy. And I had a lot of questions. Man, did I have questions. I had so much uncertainty, I didn't know what was next. But I knew I had the courage and the confidence, because it's not inherited, it was built in all those moments with my dad, to ask the questions. And with that came options and opportunities. So that dip came. Woo, did it come fast. But I was able to pull up because I asked the questions. I had the courage to talk about it. And so when single parenting 3 kids looked like what I thought would be like that, right? Everybody cool, calm, and collective, is really like this. I live in a sorority house now. They're all in high school. Send thoughts and prayers. We need them. And but along the way of parenting, co-parenting, parenting kids on their first jobs, we're looking at colleges, twists and turns of life on that roller coaster keep coming at us. But talking about money has led to the options and opportunities. Instead of money being in the being the driver's seat, it sits in the passenger seat with us and guides us along the way. You're not alone in these conversations. And when it's time to make decisions, when you least expect them, having your own empowerment with your relationship with money is so important. For me, I had another flip come when my dad died. This was that backwards flip on the roller coaster that you're not expecting, you're not looking forward to, and man, does your stomach drop. Not only did I lose my accountability partner, my mom, told you we talk about her, she lost her accountability partner of 50 years. You see, when my mom graduated college, become a teacher in New York City, she could not open up a bank account. 50 years ago, women could not open up a bank account, could not own a business, couldn't be a business owner like myself, or own a house. She had to take her father to the bank to deposit her check. Then she got married, so my dad. Again, great at math. He took over the finances. So when he passed away, she had seen the binder. He was great, very prepared, but she had never opened the binder. I had spent years in that binder with my dad. So now was my turn to build confidence for my mom on the relationship with money. Remember, it's not inherited, and it's not too late to start at any age. And I have to say, over the past 8 years, every day, in the first year, every day my mom and I would sit together. There's so much paperwork, right? There's so much uncertainty and knowledge exchanging. And we sat as quietly and as, kindly as a mother-daughter can do those first few months together. And then over time, just this year, she bought and sold her own home. Barely any interaction with me because of all those little steps that we did on that up ride back to having a stronger relationship with money. That roller coaster ride is coming, and it's coming for everybody. And we all have our unique roller coaster ride. Yours is different than the partner sitting next to you, than your kids around you. But here's an interesting fact. Our money mindset, anyone want to take a guess at what age we kind of lock in our money mindset? 12, 5, 32. Okay. 7. Oh gosh, how did I forget about all that? Okay, we're going to back up, because after my dad died, my mom became my first client. I became a financial therapist. I forgot that whole part, right? That's when the roller coaster ride went, whee, and I got excited, because I realized that I could help others. Remember, I love talking about math, and I love helping people. So when I heard the term financial therapy, it was like lightning in a bottle for me. I knew that's what I wanted to do in life. Believe it or not, it is a real field. When I go to a party and introduce myself, I get a lot of puppy dog looks, huh? What? What do you do? I heard of a financial advisor and I have a therapist. I'm like, great. But you don't talk about emotions with your financial advisor, and you don't talk about money with your therapist. Hi, nice to meet you. So I got certified. I went to Kansas State. There are 5 universities now that have programs in financial therapy and certified through the Financial Therapy Association. Now, I knew I was onto something when I was in the New York Times. My first article out in 2020 stated about financial therapy. So there's demand out there for it. And in February this year, I was sharing the stage with Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. For those of you who don't know her, she started with nothing. She built a real estate empire. She invests in companies on Shark Tank. Talk about a woman who knows the power of a conversation around money. And if you've heard her story, she literally came from nothing. And so she and I were talking backstage in the green room, and she was like, I like what you're doing. How can I help you? And I said, great, can you endorse my book? And that's what she did. So my book that came out last month, I have it here if you come see me. My book was endorsed by Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank to empower people and let everyone know, because nobody knows about this field yet, the importance of having conversations around money. Because we get our money mindset at 7 years old. So 7, think about your life at 7. 2nd grade. I recently had this conversation with a client, and she goes, that's when my dad started college again. That's when he went from a full-time job to a student. At 7, think about where your family dynamics were. 1 parent, 2 parents, salary-wise. So at 7, we kind of lock in on our money. And then what are we told about money? Shh. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it with your friends. You don't talk about it with your family. So what happens? It's hard to grow a relationship with money if it's not being talked about. We get our money mindset from 3 major areas. The first one is our background. Back to that little 7-year-old. Do you recall your parents sitting at the kitchen table with a checkbook? Every dollar cent writing down? Do you recall I have one client who went indoor camping? I was like, wow, cool, tell me more about that. She goes, yeah, my parents couldn't pay the electric bill. How smart is a parent? And so they would go indoor camping. They would read by flashlight. They would eat soup from the can. And she thought it was fun until she got to middle school and looked down the rest of the street and realized nobody else was indoor camping. My background was we went shopping only at discount stores. Those fancy stores were not for us. The bags would be hidden in the trunk of the car till my dad left for work. I think it's now like Amazon boxes that you hide. So that's my background. So everybody has a unique background within their home. Now let's add in culture and religion. Religions across the board have messaging around money, and it tends to be negative. Money doesn't buy you happiness. People with money are greedy. You give to charity. Men are the ultimate decision makers. Back to my mom that couldn't open up the bank account. Culturally, my first generation clients say to me, we are our parents' retirement fund. We are supporting our parents. We're paying for our kids to go to college. There's nothing left for me. Because our culture is, if I have, we have. And that's impacting you today. And our last is experiences. So if you have a positive experience, well then heck, you're going to do it again. You have a negative experience, you're not going to do that again. I'll go back to my experience. Actually, I'll throw my daughter on their bus for this. So I love traveling. She came up last night. I live in South Florida. She came up last night, and with everything going on, I tried to get her on an earlier flight, so the bag came early, but she didn't. The bag didn't show up. We had to go back to the airport this morning to go pick up her bag. Cool, calm, collective. We were both cool with it. We were like, oh, it's great. We'll buy a pair of underwear at the airport if we need it on the way to Iceland. Like, that's our experience with traveling, is our passion. I have a cousin who tried to go traveling twice, once in high school. COVID happened, she couldn't go on the school trip. Then in college, she tried to go again. There was an outage last July that took down all the flights. she never wants to get on an airplane again, right? So our own personal experiences are showing up in our everyday life and also how we invest, save, and talk about money. Talking about money, I was reflecting on 7-year-old Erica, and I recalled my dad, remember, good at math, not good with a hammer. So he bought a real estate property investment nearby, an apartment, and he thought it would be a good idea. Man, did he hate that thing. Every day he complained about it. They would call, the toilet was broken, they would call, they didn't pay the rent on time. He couldn't wait to get rid of that. It wasn't until I was in my 40s when I looked around and I was like, real estate could be a good investment. Where was Barbara when I needed her to talk to my dad, right? My life would look a little differently now. But we take our experiences and we build it into our money mindset and then don't talk about it. So what happens when we don't talk about money? When money stays silent, it stays in the dark. And what I see with my clients are, they tend to overwork. Oh, if I just get the next raise, I'll be okay. I pick up a few extra hours, a second shift, I'll drive for Uber or Lyft, it will be okay. I'm gonna overcompensate. You know what that means? We're going out to dinner and I'm just gonna throw my credit card down because I want others to appear that I can afford it. Especially the holidays coming up, right? We tend to overcompensate. And then when we don't talk about it, we let fear drive the car. And then wonder, why do we keep crashing? Why does that happen? If you have had financial stress the past 12 months, give me a head nod. I'll take a hand raise, I'll take anything you want. Okay, we got it all. Because here's the reality. 61%, 6 out of 10, that's about this much of the room over, is financially stressed. Financially stressed today. We put that on a bigger scale in the US, 200 million people are financially stressed. But don't work on it. Don't grow that happiness factor, that money mindset. And now I want you to look to the person next to you. Because one of you is fighting over money with your partner. Half of couples fight over money. We say I love you way before we share our credit score, right? So what happens? At home, we're financially stressed. We're annoyed with our partners because we're fighting over money, and it goes into the workplace. I wouldn't mind a 4-day work week. Anybody else want a 4-day work week? Guess what? We're doing it today because 7 hours a week is spent on financial stress that's showing up in the workplace with productivity. So for your employees, for yourself, it's in the workplace. Now, again, big scale, that's $183 billion with a B dollars of lost productivity that's happening every year over financial stress. Well, what if I told you? Well, before we get to that, I just told some negative things, but I don't want this all to be negative. I want to give you a minute to reflect on your relationship with money. So take a minute now. You're welcome to close your eyes. You're welcome to wander. 7-year-old self, so cute. Oh, look at that smile, right? What did he or she look like, and what would they be proud about for you today? I love that. I have to say, I'm really impressed with this group. Normally what I see is people sink back in the chair. Avoidance. They don't want to think about the relationship with money. Or you know the other one that I see? Right? Looking around. What are other people doing? And that also symbolizes their relationship with money. Avoidance or waiting to see what other people do. So I'm very impressed that you guys really grounded into that. Because what if I told you that you can have a healthier relationship with money? You could breathe easier. You could feel empowered when you hear that 5-letter word. You want to be empowered? Can I get a money, money, money? Money, money, money. Let's do it. But here's the thing. Let's go back to being 7-year-olds. Why do we have to make every financial conversation boring? We got our money mindset at 7, so I'm going to bring out a game from when we were 7. Ready? Oh, sorry. Right? Let's get excited about it. This is what it's going to look like. Bop it. You guys remember Bop It? No. Okay, let me show you how it's done.
High score.
Ready?
27. Bop it. Twist it. Pull it. Spin it. Flick it. Pull it. Bop it. Twist it. Oh!
Darn it. But here's the thing. Our relationship with money takes practice. And it can be fun. So we're going to play Financial Bop It. Yeah, good night.
Bop it!
Here we go. Let's financially bop it. I want you to see it. I want you to flip it. And then we're going to build it. You guys ready? Let's do it. First, I want you to see it.
Twist it!
I want you to see your vision. Because without a vision, there's no hope. So you were so good at that last exercise, we're going to do it again. Find your vision. Where do you want your money to flow? If it's a river and you could have it flowing and end at a destination, what would that be? Would it be a house next to me in Florida? That's okay, we have enough New Yorkers there. Would it be watching your child walk across the stage at graduation? Will it be ripping up so you have confetti to throw when your credit card debt is all paid off? Yes. Okay. You have that vision. Close your eyes. Feel that vision. What's on loop that's telling you you can't do it? What is living rent-free in your head right now, saying you'll never reach that goal? You'll always be in debt. Because it's time to flip it. That's right. We're going to flip those statements. So when you say things like, I'll always be in debt, I'll always be bad with money, I can never retire, guess what? That's a period at the end of the statement. You wrote that story before you even had a chance to let it breathe. So when I ask clients to flip the story, the flip it question that I ask is, how do you move from I can't to I can? How do you move from I'll never to I'm working on it? How do you go from I'm not to I am? You have something right in front of you? I want you to write down right now what that negative loop that was coming to mind when I gave you the vision, when you had your own vision. What was that negative loop that was playing? Write that down and now flip it. Flip it to a growth statement. Give your vision an opportunity to breathe, to have a story. You've had an opportunity to see it, to flip it. We got one more.
Pull it!
We're going to build it, all right? It's time to build your relationship with money. So we're going to the Fit Gym. Ready? Woo! We're going to go to the Financial Interval Training Gym. Just like the marathon was last weekend, nobody woke up that morning for the very first time in their life and ran 26.2 miles. Right? When you're potty training a kid or a puppy, it just doesn't happen overnight. Yet we expect our relationship with money just to be there. So financial interval training is those small repetitions that you do every day. It could be deciding to make coffee at home, if you're going out for dinner, all the way to maybe something more fun of like a night away with your partner for an anniversary. Having these conversations repetitively in a proactive way will help you build that muscle, for the bigger conversations that are gonna come. Because that roller coaster of life, the whips and the whips and the woos and the right, are coming. They're coming for all of us. So having that repetition is important. Here's what happened. Like I said, I'm one of 100 that are certified in financial therapy. So for me, there wasn't enough tools out there. And if I'm gonna build something and help my clients and help you build something, I need to give you the right tools. So the book is Conversations with Your Financial Therapist. It's stories and scripts to grow your mindset. Since we're in New York, I'll tell you about Gabe. He moved to New York after graduating college, never paid a bill a day in his life. His parents did everything, and all of a sudden he had to figure out how to call the utility company. Later on, you'll meet Gabe in the book, and all of a sudden his dad calls him and says, hey, Uncle Luke died. I don't want to leave you in that same situation. Can you come home for us to have a conversation? And Gabe's like, I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to know my dad's salary, right, or income. What the money mindset method is a tool to help you build your financial strength. It is using the word money, 5-letter word again, so it's 5 things. The first is M, and I'll give you a little peek into it. M, make the conversation comfortable. What does that mean? Actually, think about the last time you had a conversation that was comfortable around money. Now I'll flip it around. How was the last time you had a conversation that was comfortable with the person you want to talk to about money? Was it driving in the car when you guys are sitting side by side? Try and replicate that scenario. Set yourself up for success in the beginning by making the conversation successful. Time of day is important. Did you know morning has less decision fatigue than at night? So when you curl into bed at night, it's probably not the best time to start talking about money, right? Financial intimacy doesn't belong in the bedroom. We'll leave that for other intimacies, right? Financial intimacy should have a time and a place. One of my clients does honey and money talks on the couch, Sunday mornings after their cup of coffee. Here's what they've noticed. The husband gets uncomfortable, he'll get up and start fixing some things. But he comes back to the couch. So she doesn't get upset with it. She knows that's his nervous energy coming out. Being with that person, the repetitions that happen, you'll understand your partner better. Your tone is important, right? Timing and tone. Hey, Sunday morning, partner's walking out the door to go play golf, walk in the park. You don't yell, did you book the Christmas tickets? Knowing they don't want to go see your family. So forget about buying Christmas tickets. Timing and tone is so important to have a productive conversation. And that's just the start of it. The money mindset method is 5 steps, and I'm going to give it to you today. Here's a QR code. Go ahead and take a snapshot of it, and you can have a digital download of the money mindset method to help build your, I don't have a dance party while you do it, to help you build your money muscle memory. Go ahead. When the music stops, we'll move on. We good? Okay. Our money mindset is literally everywhere, is what I've been sharing with you. It is with you your entire life. Longer than any job, any relationship, any house. It's with you to the day you die and afterwards. Because if you haven't done any legacy planning, estate planning, you'll end up in probate with the government deciding where your money goes, which impacts your legacy to the family that you've left behind. So building your relationship with money, the mental mindset around money, is so important, not just for your health and wealth, but for those around you. Because when you open the door to talk about money, well, it doesn't close, it expands. And when you expand your relationship with money, good things happen. So I want to give you another moment. You guys have been doing so great with these moments of sitting and being with me that I want to invite you for one more moment. I want you to feel empowered, that money's flying everywhere, literally everywhere around you. You're feeling rich, you're feeling wealthy, and you're feeling happy. What does that look like for you? Take it in. Take it in. Actually, forget it. Here we go. On the count of 3, I'm going to bring out my money gun. We're going to have money flowing everywhere around you because let's have fun with money. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. All right. Here comes money through the aisles also. Grab a dollar bill. Actually, it's $100, but they're fake money. Grab sorry. When I'm that successful, we could talk about rich and wealthy then. But for now, it's fake money. Grab the money. And if you don't get one today, right now, grab one on the way out. I want you to flip it over, and on the back, I want you to write what you feel right now, what you want to tell your money. Because it's time now, right now, to put your money where your mouth is. I'm Erica Wasserman, your financial therapist.
That was really good. I'm sorry, is this mic on? Oh.
And we're going to open it up for Q&A also, so we'll get set up for
I'm coming
that.
down to you right now, so if you raise your hand if you have a question, please, and I'm going to come down and find you in the audience. Oh, I'm going to grab my money, too. There we go.
And by the way, when you get the dollar and you write it, fold it up, put it in your pocket or put it in your wallet, so that way a week from now, a month from now, you can remember
Who's got a question?
that you're empowered, that you're in control.
Yep.
And come see me for the book. Yes,
We
ma'am.
got somebody on the far side over here. I'm off to get you.
Write on the back what you want for your vision, where your words are. What do you want to tell your money?
Good,
You're in
good.
control. Put your money where your mouth is, and it will
Okay.
start flowing there.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your question?
Okay. My question is, do you come across people who are just stuck and unable to change their relationship with money? And what is a good way to help move them along? My best friend, everything you're talking about is making me think of her and her constant state of stress and panic, anxiety.
Yeah, so what you're saying is you have a friend who's stuck and not ready to work on this relationship with money. First, you have to want to work, just like going to the gym. You know, I don't like going to the gym, but once you start going, it gets better. What I would do, there's 2 things. One, I have Let's Talk Finances cards, they're conversation cards, to help start the conversation. Because people kept coming to me saying, I don't know how to start the conversation. So one is you take the card on the walk and you could start talking about it. The other that I find is storytelling. You could tell her about today and open up a little bit, and that might bring her guard down a little bit. A lot of people don't want to talk because there's shame involved. But we just talked about 200 million people right now are financially stressed and living with shame and uncertainty. So you're not alone. So relating and storytelling is very helpful there. You're welcome.
Got another question over here, Eric. Okay.
Where'd you go?
Hi, first I want to say Shabbat Shalom. And what is Obamacare? I hear this maybe 10,000 times every day.
Oh, there you are. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Because she's asking about ACA, Obamacare, and I'm just, if you want to answer, otherwise I think we've got some experts out in the exhibit hall who can answer healthcare questions, and yeah, and one of the breakouts will be about it also. Did you have a question, ma'am? Oh. Anybody else with a question? I see. I'll hold it for you. I'll hold it.
Given how unstable a lot of things are monetarily right now, what advice can you give us on how to plot a financially responsible course during this turbulence?
Excellent question, and you just reminded me that I skipped over something. Because your relationship with money stays with you no matter who's in office, no matter what the inflation rate is or the price of eggs. So for right now, know your numbers. Know what's coming in and what's going out. And when you understand what you have, the facts, one, you're able to rule out some of the fiction, the what if this happens and what if that happens. You're also able to know which triggers to pull. Where can you pull back and where can you push forward? So knowing your facts and getting comfortable with your money is important. So for some clients, I say to them, just know where your money is. Have your passwords, log in. And for some people, just sit there for 5 minutes and look at your account online. The next day is, okay, let me look into something else. And all of a sudden, there's interest because you're getting more comfortable. The same way you get into a pool, right? You could go step by step to get more comfortable. But you need to know your numbers so that way you can then decide what's impacting you, what's false, the what ifs, and what's facts. So getting your facts is important.
Got another question
Thank you.
over here.
Yeah, hi. Thanks. So you're a certified financial therapist, which is one of the best acronyms I've ever heard. But what is financial therapy? What do you do? Is it like therapy at all? Do you meet individually, physically? Is it on Zoom? Do you meet regularly? Do you charge a certain amount? Or do you work with groups? What is financial? Is there such a thing as financial therapy, and what is it?
Yes, great question. So the question is, what is financial therapy and how do you work with a financial therapist? There are over 100 of us in the country right now. Some of us work with advisors to help them on the money mindset of how they can work with clients. I choose to be a keynote speaker and author to get out to the general public. And then there's others that work within certain demographics, like the military and things like that. For me personally, for financial therapy, it's the mindset around money. So the dollars and cents, I leave to the financial advisors, for the financial coaches and the accountants. I work on the mindset around money. I work with small groups corporately, or I work with individuals in 2 different types of programming, depending on life circumstances, families, blended families, you need to have conversations with. I will sit down and help mediate some of those conversations as well. As a financial therapist, I don't want to keep you, though. So really, I want to give you the tools and the skills to move you forward. So it's short-term engagements to give you the tools like the money mindset method that then you can use repeatedly throughout your life.
Another question in the back here.
Hi, can I hold it for 1 second? I'll give it right back. No. Oh, okay. Hi, Erica. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am curious. You mentioned the binder on your dad's desk and how it had everything in it. Can you talk a little bit more about that binder? Do you have a name that you call that binder? And what kind of things would someone need to think about putting in that binder now so that their families are all ready? Because it's definitely a question I hear is when someone does pass, there's a lot of unknowns, mayhems, questions that arise. So what can people do to put in this binder, and do you have a name that you call it?
Yeah, so great question. So my college roommate's dad just passed away a few months ago, and he said to her, oh, it's just above the TV is a bunch of paperwork. That's not helpful, right? Because things are expired. So the binder that we use is called the end of life, the piece end of life folder, right? And in it has everything listed. Doesn't have to have dollars amount, but it has where my mortgage is. It has, what credit cards that I have. If I have life insurance, who's it with? It has, if I own a home, like who the plumber is, like all the important documents and details, the accountant's number. And by the way, I have one. It doesn't have to be to your 80 years old to have it. I have it, and my kids, like I said, are all under the age of 18, know where that is. Because if something does happen to me, they can go and grab it. So that's two things. One, pulling all your documents together in one place is peace of mind for your loved ones. The other was you have to let them know where it is. A lot of people are like, oh, I put that together, but nobody knows where it is. So put it together. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just have it organized so that way otherwise they're digging through your drawers. And I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody digging through my drawers looking for all kind of important information.
Just as a side, too, folks, at aarp.org, there's a whole section on getting your finances in order. A lot of resources on there, so go to aarp.org/finances, and you should be able to find it there, and it's got checklists and other things. So another question here. I got it.
Hi, thank you for being here. I have a question. Most of us have been working, the majority of our lives on bi-weekly payrolls, right? Bi-weekly checks.
Yep.
When you retire, how do you change your mindset from going from bi-weekly to bi-monthly? Because you're getting either money from a defined pension or Social Security, so there's only income coming in from two sources. Or if you don't have a defined pension and you have a 401k, now you have to figure out how to re-budget yourself. And do you still keep that bi-weekly mindset? Like, how do you change that mindset to now go to two sources of income that are fixed, right?
Yep.
Or if you have a 401k, how do you change that over from what you used to get bi-weekly to now what can fit into Social Security, replacing part of that on your monthly income, and figuring out a new budget if you have a 401k?
Yeah, so great question. And first of all, way to go to realize that it's a mindset. So it's not necessarily the dollars are still there, but the mindset of not seeing the money come in on that specific Friday is a shift. So ask yourself, are you ready to shift to a different mindset? And mark your calendar now on the dates that you're going to be paid. If you're not, set automated money up. So you might have an account that aggregates all of these new bi-monthly expenses or incomes, and then you set up a different checking account that pulls it over every 2 weeks if you want to keep your patterns the same. And automate it so that way you have the same amount coming in, it feels like you're still working, the routine that you have. If that's not something of interest, then start adapting. Get a big old calendar out. I'm old school that way, right? I like pen and paper, and write out when the money's coming in and track it for the first 3 months and allow your mindset to catch up with the way the dollars are flowing now.
Thank you, Erica. So everyone, please join me in thanking Erica. It's wonderful.
Thank you.